Hello, Questers! Podcast Wednesday, the Quest of Oak Island. How was everybody doing? Let me hear ya. Yippee-yi, yay, yay, yay. Let's go. Everybody's coming in. Give everybody a chance on a Wednesday. Kind of weird starting the podcast and it's still light out. And from Canada, the Queen of Synopsis, Judy's on the line. Hello, Judy.
Hello, John. Hi, everybody. Good to be here, as always. And I think we'll have a good podcast tonight. Lots to talk about.
All righty. Let's see who's the first to come in here. Here we go. $10 Ray. Gloria. Tammy Williams. There's Scott. There's Brenda. There's Lards. There's Joe. Jeff M in the house. There's Gary. Facebook user. Maybe that's Linda. There's the professor. There's Jan. There's Woody. There's Rebecca. There's Samuel. There's David. There's We Are Watchers. There's Bruce. There's Becky Gilmore. There's Linda. There's Gregory. There's Franklin. The crew is about to come in, Judy.
Yes. Looks like everybody's here, which is great. And still coming.
Still coming. Only 30. That's nothing. There's Andre. Like tonight, guys, the person who won a book and a hat contacted me yesterday. So tonight, #book, you will win the Jerusalem Files from Corian Mall and Christopher Morford. That'll be the second or third book away, right? It'll be the third book to give away. We'll have one more book to give away, and you'll also get a free Quest Swag baseball cap. So you got to be on StreamYard, and Cindy can hear me and see me and hear Judy. So it's #book tonight, guys. And if you want a hat, like I said last week, we'll just redraw on the hat, and Corian or Christopher will send you a brand new book. Book number 3, Judy. We got one more book to give away next week.
Oh, that's great. I know everybody's been enjoying this.
Yep. Hello, Peter. And we're going to be off to the races shortly here. There you go, Gloria. I see book. I see buck. I see hat. Oh, God. I see Linda Dieters. Hello back to you. And got to thank our YouTube membership, Judy. They keep us floating here.
They do. And I thank everybody very much.
Yep, we dropped about 4 membership members, but maybe a lot of times at the end of the month or the first of the month, they don't re-up on their credit card or whatever. So I hang in there until about the first week in April, and if I lose 4 or 5 memberships, I just start to cry for about 2 days. Hello, R&B. Hello, Diane. I want to thank Jupiter, 15th account, rejoined yesterday. Thank you so much, Jupiter. And also Betty and Mark and Tammy and Luke and Patricia and Sandra and Sideways and Dave and Caroline and Super and Becky and Wayne and Alina and Paul and Carol and Virginia and Gary and Rebecca and Barbara and Starlene, Jeff M, Sandollar Ray, and Roxy for their continued support on the YouTube membership side. Also Joanne and Hardaby, thank you so much for what you contribute. And also Judy, thank you for what you do to put up with me every Wednesday. We only have 5 more weeks to go.
We do only have 5 weeks to go, and you're welcome. And it's just so hard to put up with you, you know.
And there's Becky Gilmore with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're going to make it, Judy, or what?
I hope so, John. I'm sorry.
You better start drinking some wine. You better start drinking some wine now until 7 o'clock.
Right, I'm drinking here.
There's Ashley's in the house. Don't forget, Kit, Randy, you can't put hashtag book in Facebook. Go up and pop on top where you see the Oak Island podcast is live. Let StreamYard just use your profile picture and name. That's all they take. And then you can be eligible for a free book and hat. I want to thank Daniel Spino for all he does to make our group so professional, just like not me just mumbling around and doing screenshots and stuff. Makes it very, very professional. I thank you, Daniel, and your research partner, Cheryl, and hoping and praying that Muyan Osprey comes back.
We're open, John. We're keeping our fingers crossed on that one.
Hello, David. Hello, Patsy. I don't think the drilling downs count as episodes, Sydney. We got to check out on that, see what happens. Got to thank all my moderators, Tammy, Judy, Daniel, Starlene, Kathy, and Tanya from Portugal. Also on the YouTube side, we got Jeff M, David B, Glory on the YouTube side, and our lifetime contributor that can really use them now, Chris Dona. Most of my members come from the Quest of Oak Island group. They're about 69,000. Not bad. We're holding that number for about 11 years now. And I appreciate each one of you. We're live to Facebook and YouTube. I do download back down to Twitter. Not much on Twitch, Rumble. We're on Discord and Instagram. And to our members on Spotify, I download our podcast there on Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, Alexa. Hello.
I think you have fun with that.
Kathy, the Hook, and Robots in the house. Yeah, the whole thing is, hello, Stephanie. Hello, Navy Dog. People are skeptical with all this privacy issue, but that's all StreamYard takes is your name and your profile picture, and that's all they do. I think you got to do it once, but sometimes it gets glitches, and you might have to do it again. We'll see. Well, last night's show, season 11, episode 20, Wet and Wild. Not bad show. Not bad show. Could have been more, but we got 5 episodes left, Samuel. Corey and Mal, who was with the production. I mean, you can't get any better truth than that, you know, Judy. 25 episodes.
Right, John, and it's nice to have Corey in there to fill us in.
And we don't know if the drilling downs count. I don't think so. They put them in to stretch it a little bit, but they're at 10 o'clock.
Right, yes.
Cindy Moreau straightened me out here. It wasn't online. It was on the hard copy, the magazine of TV Guide. I'll pass the information on to you. Season 11, episode 21, next week is called Straight as an Arrow. It's on April 2nd. This is USA time. Stephanie, you got to put hashtag book. It's hashtag book for tonight's drawing of a hat in Jerusalem Files book. Season 11, episode 22, which is called Abbey Road. That's on April 9th. But also on April 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, USA time, there's a digging down. And also on April 16th, it's a drilling down at 10 p.m. April 9th is digging down at 10 p.m. and April 16th is drilling down at 10 p.m. You got that, guys?
Wow, that's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll try to print it out, or when I see it, I always post it for everybody to see. They can hear me live, but I always try to post it out so somebody can make a screenshot or print it out so they know the schedule I'm seeing. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
All right. Daniel and Charlotte had a special of Hi-Ho Silver that a lot of people want to watch it when I'm live. They really don't see it when I post it to YouTube. So this was a special presentation on the Hi-Ho Silver. So we're going to play that, Judy.
Okay, John, sounds good.
It's about 7 minutes long. And we'll get that last week out of the way and then power into last night's episode. But before I do that, there's my crew right there.
What a beautiful crew you have.
Yep. And there's the professor and Charlotte.
They're pretty neat, too.
Yep. There's Muyan Osprey. We got to be praying. Start praying now, April 1st, guys. I need a lot of prayers to try to get them back.
Oh, John, I hope we can get him.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yep. I have no idea. You know, everybody's got their thing to do. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. We all have a life, don't we?
Yep. And of course, again, I have heard nothing official about any kind of short tour going through this summer. It was in a planning stage. They're trying to look at it. But I think now it's getting too late in April 1st for people to put in vacation time. You always can talk to my buddy Tony Sampson at the Salty Dog Tours, get a tour around the island, and tell him Johnny sent you.
Daniel says, I look like Tony Soprano with the Brady Bunch squares.
Well,
that's your picture of all of us, John.
Well, you can send me a new picture you want me to show, Daniel. That's all.
I think you look good, Daniel. Jeepers.
Yeah, well, once I get Daniel on here live with me, did you hear me, Daniel? Live with me. When you're ready, not 10 years from now, we're going to have to push that timeline a little bit up farther because people want to get at you live, that you're posting factual things and we go by you. And I guess people want to talk to you, but I don't know. Once you get on, maybe we won't get one question, but a lot of people want to see you on the live end. So you do what you got to do. So here's Hi-Ho Silver from Daniel and Charlotte. Special presentation. Let me know if it's coming through and seeing, guys. And we'll go from there. Okay, Judy?
Yes, I'm ready.
Special report. Hi-Ho Silver War Room Analysis. John Edwards by the Oak Island Compendium. Researcher John Edwards presented his theory regarding a Freemason/Rosicrucian/Knights Templar association and believes he has discovered information that indicates that Masonic code was encoded in certain writings. He believes this code and information was hidden and suggests that the Ark of the Covenant was buried on Oak Island. Edwards is a teacher from Maryland who stated that he spent the last 30 years studying symbology relating to Freemasonry/Rosicrucianism/Templars. Edwards claims this Masonic code is hidden and only recognizable by fellow Masons. He references a Masonic song and refers to portions of it, and suggests that the Ark of the Covenant was hidden on Oak Island. The song is listed as Royal Arch Ode, 19th century, with no other information given about it. The compendium has investigated and learned that the ode was written by James Gates Percival, 1795 to 1856. Mr. Gates was a writer-poet but worked primarily as a geologist. It appears that Mr. Gates wrote this Masonic ode but wasn't a Mason himself. Percival was described as very shy and withdrawn and preferred to be by himself. Most likely this would preclude him from being an active participating member of Freemasonry. Mr. Gates' background doesn't seem to suggest he had any involvement with Oak Island, but he did visit Nova Scotia at one point as a brief advisor to a mine in Londonderry for the extraction of iron ore. Interestingly, one of the owners of the mine was Charles Dixon Archibald, who at one time was the head of the Truro Company on Oak Island. Although it doesn't appear Mr. Percival was involved with the island itself. Edwards goes on to talk about a couple of books that he feels have the hidden Masonic code in them. He refers to the works of Josephus Flavius, published in 1812, and the Holy Week, published in 1763. The latter was in French. Edwards shows some examples and abbreviations used as code. Then a very interesting picture and description are shown. It apparently comes from another French book entitled Instructions générales en forme de catéchisme, by A. Avignon, 1824, that is not owned by Edwards. A sketch of what appears to be Oak Island is depicted. This sketch is very interesting, but when exactly it was sketched is the big question. It shows what appears to be Oak Island with lines that indicate possible lots, a ship pointing towards the swamp, and a box-like figure pointing to the Judres Cove area. Also, the term FLX 157 is listed. Compendium investigations seemed very doubtful of the authenticity of this sketch until we learned the following information. What was mentioned next was perhaps the most significant part of the entire presentation in the opinion of compendium investigations. The names of Daniel Dyson and John Eason were mentioned in relation to this sketch and the previously mentioned book. John Eason, a Scotsman, came to Nova Scotia from London in 1737 as master artificer to the British Army garrison at Annapolis Royal. An artificer was a military mechanic who carried out repairs. He was attached to the Ordnance, Artillery and Engineer Service to be employed in the construction of military materials as well as repairs. He received land and a mill that he operated for grist and lumber. He also worked with Dyson and Company, merchants of Annapolis Royal, and later became a partner with the company. Daniel Dyson carried on the largest mercantile business conducted by any person or firm in the county of Annapolis in the middle of the 18th century. Apparently, Dyson and Company had cooperative relations with the French, Acadians and the Micmac, and participated in commercial transactions and trade between Annapolis Royal, New England, Halifax, and the French at Louisbourg. These transactions with the French involved contraband trade. Eason and Dyson were Freemasons and part of the First Masonic Lodge of Nova Scotia. Their business partner Erasmus Phillips was also Grand Master. In December 1757, Eason was captured by an Acadian Micmac war party during a raid on Annapolis Royal and taken as a prisoner of war and remained in Quebec until 1759. Interestingly, the head of the war party was Brossard de Soleil, the famous Acadian freedom fighter and privateer who is suspected of possible involvement with Oak Island. Years later, Eason was in Boston at the time of the Boston Tea Party and wrote home to his son James in December 1773, briefly describing the event. During the course of their business dealings, Dyson and Eason were involved with Joshua Morga. Compendium Investigations believes that Morga was involved with a smuggling operation that used Oak Island as a transfer and storage location. It's documented that Morga failed to acquire insurance on a ship called the Wren that was owned by Eason, Dyson and Erasmus Phillips. The ship was lost, and the three men wanted to be compensated by Morga, who was in charge of the voyage. Morga agreed and paid the debt. Morga had been made the victualler to the Royal Navy, managing the British supply of provisions at Louisbourg, which it's likely how he became involved with Eason and Dyson. In 1749, Morga moved from Louisbourg to Halifax. Morga was engaged as a merchant, rum distiller, victualler, slave trader, smuggler and privateer. Governor Edward Cornwallis confronted Morga about his suspicious business practices, which included trading with the French at Louisbourg. Morga had powerful allies and escaped this scrutiny. Another one of Morga's close associates was Jonathan Prescott, the Oak Island lot owner. Morga had many business dealings in the Mahone Bay area. Morga also was a Freemason along with Eason, Dyson and Prescott. It's very likely that Eason and Dyson not only knew about Oak Island, but Eason possibly worked there at some point with his artificer carpentry experience. The mention of these two men in association with the sketch of Oak Island opens up a distinct possibility that the Masonic code that was used involved smuggling and Oak Island. Compendium Investigations is continuing this research and will update you with more information as it is discovered. We also have parallel research that seems to connect with this line that will be brought to you very soon. Please visit www.theoakislandcompendium.com for this article and our other content regarding the Oak Island mystery. Good day from the Compendium. Daniel and Charlotte.
Alrighty. So that's the last of it from Hi Ho Silver. Very well done, Daniel and Charlotte. And also for out there, the winner of last week's book and hat. I put out a notice last night on YouTube saying you only had till yesterday's podcast to contact me. Otherwise, it would have been a double tonight. He did contact me. He's from Germany. So tonight's only for one hat and one book. He went right down to the wire because if he didn't contact me, it was going up. So there it was. So guys, it's one book and one hat tonight. Hashtag book. So I wanted to tell Renee and Scottish Digger. And that's what's happening on the book side. Hello, Lewis is in the house. Who else came in here? Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so. Well, not on the Facebook side, anyway.
Lauren? Did I miss Lauren? Gotta say hello to everybody on our podcast. You know what I mean?
Right, John. You do try hard to do that.
And they said, well, you shouldn't be doing it on podcast. It takes away from this and takes away from that. I said, well, what the hell? We're just a big old family interested in the Curse of Oak Island. We give opinions, we do discussions, we throw out screenshots, you know, and people got to criticize you for just stopping and saying, well, hello to this person, hello to that person. You know what? I don't care. How's that sound, Judy?
That sounds perfect. You do it your way. It's your gig, John.
But I'm just saying the things you got to hear. You know what I mean?
I know. You can't please all the people all the time, right?
Yeah. So now, what did you guys think of the Wet and Wild episode last night? Hello, Turf Monster. I don't think I said Turf Monster. Hello, Michael.
I was certainly glad when they did tell us that everybody come out of the garden shaft okay. That was kind of scary.
Yep. I just only had one doing good, Michael and Woody. I only had one little beef, or I always come up with one little rant. I wish I'd go through a show that something just bothers Johnny's brain. And this was when John Edwards was in the war room, and they were doing a lot with this number 72. You guys remember that?
Oh, yes.
All right. And he took Steve Guptill, which is the surveyor. If you're going to measure something, you're going to bring Steve with the GPS stick and start measuring all over. So like when I was telling the guys on Discord also, we had a good laugh last night. I said, alrighty, the Vikings are with the Templars, and they're measuring 144 feet this way, 144 feet to this rock, 144 feet to this way. Now, wait a minute. The measurement scale in the year 1100 or 1200 It's not going to be 144 feet. It's going to be 18 rods to the right, 2 turtle shells to the left. Hit that palm tree to the second sunrise, and then we're going to put the rock over there. Guys, help me. In the year 1200, we're going to drill a hole in a rock near the turtle shell. We're going to turn left when the sun is just at this peak and turn around the 3 oak trees, and that's where we're going 44 feet. We're going 50 feet. I don't get it. So many rods this way. I don't get it, guys. Help me out.
Well, I certainly don't think they were working in feet by any means.
Naturally. Hit the beach, turn around at the Dolphin, do a cartwheel for 10 minutes, and that's where the second rock is going.
Good one.
Yep, or I'm going to throw my sword, and where it lands is the 4th one. So I don't get it. I don't know how they get the measurements from now in 2024. And we know the guy in Italy said the cross was made, 1200 AD. So what measurement system did they use is no way close, even though the boulders are the right same distances to each other, Judy, to make the cross. As Jack would say, no way. So anybody got any answers for me? Somebody Google 1200 AD measurement system for the Templars. See what you get. I don't know. So that was my little rant from last night.
I guess they just wanted to make it easy for us in today's age to understand.
Hello, Slickster. Thanks a lot. What did Daniel say?
Professor Gaspani was eating bad Parmesan when he came up with that one.
Oh, Lordy 40. Holy Muyan. So that was, I was trying to think of measurements, but I had a lot to do today. Information was coming in late. I'm downloading. I'm throwing pictures all over the place to get ready for tonight's podcast. And I never got to the measurement system of what they used in 1200. Well, if it was made in 1200, that means they did it before 1200 and completed it in 1200. Right, guys?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yep, I'm okay. Flood tunnel or not, it's wet. Remember that 90-foot stone. They took that 90-foot stone out, if that's still viable. And that's when the water came in. Each culture had its own measurement. Yeah. Hello, Ray. Thanks for coming in. Lauren, each culture had their own measurement. Yeah. Yep, and they tied it all to the number 72. And I guess 72 was the Templars' code. You know, like the 10 Commandments. They had 72 statements that they lived by, Judy.
Right, boy. I think I forget some of them.
Hello, Peter. Hello, Patricia. Well, so that's got my head spinning with the 72 and 144 feet. So, guys, if you think of anything, let me know, because I'm totally confused on that job. I'm more confused with the stars, but I sort of understand some numerals from being a surveyor, and I still don't know what the heck they're talking about and how they got that measurement. But to each rock now, that's what it measures, because Steve was out there measuring it. You know, Judy?
Right, yes. And Steve knows what he's doing.
Yep. But I was trying to think of how they did it in 1200 or 1100. So, all right, Judy, are you ready?
I'm ready, John.
Hello, Carol Goff. Probably a cubic. Well, let me put this up. Daniel's throwing some stuff out here. I know you guys think I'm being hard on Gaspani, but it doesn't appear in his calculations that he took into account that Oak Island was an island and not geologically in the same position as today.
That's a very good point for sure.
There's David. Hello, David up there in Nova Scotia. Imperial foot and inches was introduced around 1600. I'm talking 1100, 600 years before this, David. So that's what we're going to be looking for next. And there's Andre. The distance from elbow to the tip of the hand is a cubic. Yep, that's what they use. They use stuff like this. You know what I mean? Right, it was connected to the mainland, Daniel Spino. The island was connected to the mainland. Sure. All right, let me find Judy's picture here. The Queen will be ready for her synopsis when I put the picture in. There it is. Judy, when you're ready, here it is, the Queen of synopsis. Ready, set, you got it. Take it over.
Thank you, John. Season 11, Episode 20, Wet and Wild. Episode 20 begins with Rick and Scott meeting with Paul from Dumas at the garden shaft so they can oversee the beginning of the horizontal drill at 106 feet down. The team is hoping to find areas of the tunnel under the shaft that are still intact. Scott reminds Paul to take wood and water samples every 10 feet for analysis. Over in the southeast corner of the swamp, Billy is carefully digging around the structure found here 3 weeks ago. Billy digs into a layer of rocks next to the stone road built over the swamp that looks much like the stone road itself. They will continue to dig in order to discover what the new find is. Later that afternoon, the team meets in the lab with Carmen so he can evaluate the two artifacts found in the southeast corner of the swamp last week. Carmen says the first item is a back bolt used to hold the yokes on an ox to the load being hauled. He adds it is French from the early 1600s to 1760 and is made of iron. The second item, Carmen says, is a 14-inch long pin. Emma tells them it was too long to get it into the XRF machine, so she shows results of the thick end only. It proves to be high in magnesium, so she dates it to the early 1700s or before, and it is of Swedish origin. Could it be Viking? Carmen then declares he believes it is a wharf pin. The following morning on Lot 5, the archaeologists are digging in the stone structure and are pleased they have finally hit bottom or floor level. Moya digs up what looks to be bluish flying clay, and Jack points out it looks the same as the blue clay from deep in the money pit. This is the first blue clay they have found here, so Helen wonders why it would be in this spot. They will have it tested to see if it matches the clay from the money pit. Meanwhile, other members of the team are meeting in the war room for an update from John Edwards, who introduced his theory last week that the Ark of the Covenant is on Oak Island. John, with the help of Steve, has spent the past week researching and measuring the area around Nolan's Cross in hopes of proving his theory correct. By using Masonic and Templar books, codes, and maps, John and Steve believe they have found the X marks the spot. Because the Templar number 72 comes into play, John says it is likely that the Templars built Nolan's Cross. Tom Nolan, who owns this part of the island, with a big smile, says, let's dig the 3 spots of interest. Wow. Will they actually dig up the Ark of the Covenant? As a new day begins, Billy is digging in the northern area of the swamp on one of John Edwards' X marks the spot. He uncovers a large boulder above the bedrock that looks to have been placed here for a purpose. They call Rick and Marty to come take a look. Back at the war room, the team is getting an update from Doug on a copper artifact covered with symbols found on Lot 8 in 2022. Doug had it sent to a Canadian company that was able to open up the artifact as it had a fold in it. Doug's research shows it could be Viking, and the symbols are astrological in nature. He believes this piece could be part of an astrolabe used by Vikings for navigational purposes on both land and sea. It could very well have been used to align Nolan's Cross with the stars. They decide to send the copper artifact to Professor Gaspani in Italy for his analysis. The episode ends in the garden shaft, where the Dumas team continues drilling the horizontal probe. Suddenly, water begins to pour into the shaft from the 97-foot level. We hear men screaming, and then they are pulled up. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The water continues to flow and covers the 2 bottom sets of the shaft. Rick, wondering if they have hit a flood tunnel, tastes the water and finds it salty. Does this mean it's ocean water coming in through through a flood tunnel? They call Marty, and although disappointed, he says, let's start pumping in the morning and test the water for salt. They are now experiencing the same drawbacks as searchers did 200 years ago. Is it worth continuing to dig in the garden shaft? Join us next week, fellow questers, to find out. And in the meantime, stay safe, please.
Excellent. The Queen of Synopsis for the Quest of Oak Island group. Very, very good. It'll be posted in our Facebook group, the Quest of Oak Island. If you YouTubers have not joined us there yet, Katie the Hook will watch every little profile that comes through to be accepted or not. Come on over. Great information that we can't do on YouTube for some reason is all on the Facebook group, Quest of Oak Island. And Judy, very, very good.
Thank you. And I do want to stress anybody that wants more information about the Masonic and Templar numbers, please go to Daniel and Charlotte's post on our Facebook page. They got it right.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, we got to have the cat's name by next week. By the time the season's over, we're going to have this cat's name, Judy.
I'll have to try to remember to ask Sherry what she named that cat.
All right.
I can't remember.
Like we said, next week, episode 21, Stray as an Arrow. Episode 22, Abbey Road. We're going on vacation again. Every year we go somewhere. Rome, Portugal, wherever. April 9th, Digging Down at 10 p.m. April 16th, Drilling Down at 10 p.m. Courtesy of Sydney Monroe. ready. What did Daniel say? Daniel said something. I don't know.
He just said thank you to me because I said to everybody that he and Charlotte have it right. I can't remember all those numbers, so I left it all up to them.
I hear you. Me too. I do the same thing. Here we go. This is them ready to hoist the horizontal drill into the shaft. To the shaft bottom.
Boy, that's a lot of stuff to work with in that little area, isn't it?
Yep, it sure is. And we already established that there is salt water coming in the garden shaft, guys. That was already a known. So salt water is coming in the garden shaft. That is a fact. Mark it down. Here they are in the beginning of the show. But Dumas knows what they're doing, Judy. Dumas knows what they're doing. So
They do, John, and thank goodness they do after that water started flooding in there.
yeah, like I said in Discord, they'll just get a pump, figure out how many gallons are coming in per minute, and just get a pump that can keep up with the water input for output. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Yeah, they'll do it.
Yep, Patricia. Of course, I had to put this map up for the 500th time. And the tunnel that goes under the garden shaft is going into the baby blob that has the gold and silver signatures. Okay.
Do you have nightmares about that, John, do you?
I know I've seen this so many times. I think I'm going to have this tattooed on my chest. What do you think, guys?
Oh, Johnny, as long as we get to see it.
You know what I mean? You see something so many times, you think, hey, I'm going to get this as a tattoo. Yeah, Bruce, they got the freeze method to chemically freeze the land. We went through all that. They even was suggestion to do that when they were thinking about a big dig. Then they went back to the other week there. That we didn't get that wood tested yet, so we got a lot of dates to get tested back yet, Judy.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we still don't have that wood. I really was hoping we'd get that this week.
And this is what they were doing last night. They were at, I thought 100 feet, but this says 106 feet. And this is where the water was coming in, and that's the drill going horizontal. And this is the wood I thought we were going to get dates on, which they said was the floor. Some pieces are just missing. They're not even there. So that makes no sense to me at all, but that's how this story goes. Franklin, if it's salt water, it's coming in from the bay, the flood tunnels.
Right.
They got it all sealed up on the outside. Then they go back to the swamp. And there's the spot that they're saying there's a southeast corner of the swamp when they're finding a new wharf or a new platform with wood. And again, we need to test that wood, guys.
Right. Again, I hope they do.
And there's the hole.
I'm sure they.
Yep. Crazy looking thing, but still got the bark on the outside of some of these posts and everything. So that's all kind of weird, you know.
It is. It truly is. What the heck was it?
There's a couple of the items: the wood barrel, the oxen pin, the small nail shaft. Of course, they got to show you the treasure chest going off a cargo ship. This is where they're seeing there's layers of rocks. Could be another road at a different level. I never saw so many rocks in my life for the past season.
There has been a lot this year.
Here you see a little bit of red on the left-hand side from this picture. I think it was 1932 of the pathway from the swamp to the money pit. But if the pathway was way over here on the left-hand side, you see that pathway in light red?
Yes. I was looking at that earlier.
Why is the money pit dig way over there on the other side? I don't know.
I don't know either.
There's our main man, Carmen, with those two items. I love the way he just got that ox thing right off the bat. All rusty, all crazy looking. This is just a ox pin, whatever that was. You know, he got it right off the bat. Unbelievable, Carmen.
It is. He's worked with them probably in the Pioneer Village that he worked in, John. I'm sure he has.
You up, Linda? They look for the drain tunnels. They found one drain tunnel, I thought, when the blocks were like at an angle on top of each other. But they didn't shut off nothing. And that's when they dug that big hole in the uplands where Rick went down in the bucket. And there was some kind of structure on the bottom of that. But nothing happened, right, Judy?
Right, exactly. I always wondered what that was in the bottom of that hole.
Yep, I'm okay. Hashtag book for tonight, not hat. I'm okay. Hashtag B-O-O-K.
Daniel says we have just released info about the road in our analysis. So go to our Facebook page after the show, guys, and read what they have to say.
There's another picture of what the heck they're building there long time ago. We also have Daniel Spino's and Charlotte's Wet and Wild Artifact feature analysis that I had to download very quickly. Raymond was swearing at me until about 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So Daniel Spino, you'll be getting a call from the UK because Raymond's hot because he was in the jacuzzi with a glass of wine, but I had to get him out of there for you guys' report. So expect a call from Raymond very shortly. That's all I can say.
Look out, Daniel.
It had high manganese content. I was telling the people, like on Discord, if you ever saw a hookup of two oxen, those big animals with those big wooden trusses on their necks, the yokes and the chains and the wood and everything else to pull a wagon, That's just a ton of wood right there. You know what I mean?
Yes, I often wonder how the oxen do it and pull the load at the same time. Daniel said it was a lot of work with extra analysis. It took a while. We get it, Daniel.
You tell that to Raymond, not me. Just how Carmen knows these things. I mean, he sees probably 1,000 of these things over his lifespan there at the blacksmith shop.
I am sure he has.
And there it is, an iron backing bolt.
We have some great pioneer villages in Canada, certainly lots here in Ontario, so I'm sure they have some good ones out there in Nova Scotia, and he was part of that.
Hello, Meow. Meow, are you the one that won the hat and book last week? I need your first name. If you're the guy. I can't remember. I got so many names and people, I'm going crazy. Send me in the email your first name. They won't take an initial. Stamps.com is crazy. No phone number. I got the phone number for international, but I need full names. You can't give me like if your name is John Smith and just J. Smith. It don't go. Here they give us a shot back into the garden shaft. There's the drill, a pumping. Now we're back to lot 5, the western side of the island. There's the team. Just showing the dig out, Tammy, on lot 5. Everybody's just sitting around. Now they're working with their little trowels and shovels, and no way is sifting dirt up on top from the buckets that the archaeologists are digging on lot 5. Seems like the section's getting bigger and bigger to me.
It does look like it looks a lot bigger than it did even a week ago.
This is where Moya said they found something interesting. They had blue clay. I remember Jack in the swamp just coming up with globs of blue clay in front of the boulders in the swamp when they did it many years ago, Judy. I remember he had just hands and gobs of this blue clay there. I don't know if you remember
I can remember that. Yeah, and in the eye they found quite a bit, did they not?
Not sure.
Blue clay. Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they got close to the eye.
Oh, maybe not.
And Helen was looking at the pieces of blue clay. It's pretty dominant all and up and down the main east coast of the United States. So blue clay is very prominent up in that area. Yeah, the plug.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it right, Linda, the plug. Back to the drilling operation we go. Try to get a good shot, but got sort of blurred out there.
Oh, it turned out pretty good, John. I don't know how those guys stand to be in that small space with all that equipment. They're darn good stuff.
Yep, the blue clay was by the eye of the swamp. Yeah, right. No way.
Okay, thank you.
No way, Jack. I hear you. Very curious, Renee. Very curious. The way to unlock Nolan's cross is built into the cross itself. Okay, Johnny. There's my main man, Steve Guptill. There he is. I need your first name in that email so I can send that head out tomorrow. And they believe the locations of the other markers, like I said, 72 divided by into 72, 144, 132, 432. They go by these measurements. So I guess they know what they're doing, Judy.
I know, I've seen it in other books too, John, so it definitely is a Templar thing.
Yupper. The Latin rule was a document with 72 clauses. The specific behavior for the Templar order that outlines the ideal behavior of a knight. 72 of them, oh my lordy 40. Holy Muyan! All the Templar Knights were trained to live by 72 rules. And then they all got executed. But not a bunch of them. They sort of made it out of there on the sneaky.
Yes, they did.
Here's where they're going to start to dig. On the Nolan's Cross extensions, which, when I talked to Peter Armidston, has no problem with anybody using all his information to extend and maybe find something on Oak Island. So if there's offshoots of Peter's stuff from 2013, he welcomes it all. So nobody's taking anything away from Peter, but we always mention him because people don't know about that. So they got to look back and find out what Peter Armidston did, before John's coming on. So, new people. 2013, that's 11 years ago, Judy.
Right. It has been a long time, but I'm with you. I want him to get credit where credit is due.
Right. So it's not new. It's just that they're digging now when they didn't dig with Peter. You know what I mean? Jelly bean.
Yes.
Yup, Andrea. Patricia says, what about Templar's non-knight associates? Well, they had to help out, but I don't know. I don't think so. And something this secret, I don't think so. Know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly. I don't know where this will lead us.
And this is when I was saying that 144 feet as they're measuring now. But they're measuring now because they got the system there and the stones are right there. So you just measure from this stone to that stone. Well, it's 144 feet American. Not American, English, whatever you want to call it. So that's when Marty says, uh-oh, it's on Time's land. But I'm pretty sure they must have some kind of setup that if the treasure was found or something's there on Tom's land, on the treasure trove license, that these guys must get a piece or some agreement. Otherwise, they wouldn't do to this. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd not thought of that before, John, but you're probably right. There's got to be an agreement between them, I would hope.
All of a sudden, it's on Tom Nolan's property. He tells them, get lost. Luke Rich, my theory on Nolan's Cross, double head star of saying his older tradition name is Ibride from the Arabic. the one sitting behind the rider. Could be the Templar's pin. More stars means hidden location. Who knows? 11 years of theories, you got me all burnt out.
Surely they'll run out of theories someday.
No, because we recycle the old ones that we heard before.
Yes, that's right.
You know, Jeffrey Irving came up with the Columbus with bringing over the Ark. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And then they dropped it, and now they've brought it back again. So then I always have to question why. Why are they bringing it back now?
All right, let me tell you this. Episode 20. You got to go out in a bang. So you make good judgments for production before you go into a commercial break. That's why they always have that coming up to hold you through the commercial break, and you don't leave and go watch a baseball game. Same thing with the end of the season. They're going to be pumping the things that most people are hyped about, and that's religious relics, gold, silver, diamonds, not wood samples, boreholes, sausage table. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right, John. It is the end of the year, and that's probably why it's happening. They'll leave us hanging for sure.
Kathy's going to have to get way bigger hooks than she's showing us. Way bigger, 12-year hooks. If this thing has another season, which I think there might be, but I don't know, we want 12-year hooks. So you got all summer to work on that, Kathy. And here's a spot that they're going to be digging on a John Edwards location. And there's the spot where the red spot is. I'm trying to think where Mercy Point was, and I think that's the one right in the swamp, the white one, Judy.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is, John.
Not this red spot, but that one right in the middle of the swamp there.
Right, I agree, to the right. Isn't that where Petter dug?
No.
Or was it
he didn't go in the middle of the swamp, no.
Okay. It was the Kingdom Stone then, I think, that he dug at.
Then here it is. They talk about the dirt. The C level, the B level, the A level. I thought that was important for you guys to see. You see the top layer. And I also showed Judy on the sausage table when the drill's going through, and you get all that bedrock on the bottom, all that white stuff that's bedrock. But I thought people get caves in the bedrock. You know, why stop there? But then what do I know?
Right. Thank you, John. That's helpful.
There we go. Google Play ad. What the hell kind of name is that anyways? Can't figure you out. All righty. Thank you for your super sticker. And this is the boulder, I guess, that was placed there that we're going to dig under there.
It is a large one.
Yep. There's the poor guys in the bottom of the pit here, drilling. And here's that copper thing that we thought that was in the white box in the beginning of the season when Maddie Blake, like I said yesterday, showed it. Gary showed it to Maddie Blake and said, this belongs in a museum. I still don't know what was in that white box. I still don't know.
No, it would be nice to know, wouldn't it?
There's a closer picture. Now, this was all folded over, like what Judy said, that they took it and unfolded it, thinking it's a direct decorative piece that was on something else, you know, like a foiled, or how they foil gold thin off of decorative pieces, then put it on something. That's what they're saying.
Yes, it certainly is an interesting piece.
And Doug's highlighting one section of this. Looks like a fish and a ribbon.
Yeah, Linda is saying that it looks like a breastplate. It does, doesn't it, Linda?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yep, Gary remarked about it, but it was still folded over. Yep, it was in a smaller box. Yep. Then he's trying to compare it to the Vikings. And there's that ring sort of thing and the circle and the dot together. And he's showing you on the piece on the right. It looks like a symbol. Upside down, though, on the copper piece. There's a better picture of this other medieval astrolabe from the 13th century. Good luck reading that thing.
Really, eh? Glad they were able to.
Very smart people back there with their technology, you know what I mean?
Yes, they really were, with what they had to work with.
Mm-hmm. Could be from navigation on the ships. No idea, Robot. And we're back to the shaft. And at this time, we will show Season 11, Episode 20, Wet and Wild Artifact Feature Analysis from Daniel Spino and Charlotte Wheatley before Raymond comes looking for me. I better post this in. It's 9 minutes and 5 seconds long, guys. So here we go. Let me know, like before, if it's playing, not playing, and you can't hear it. Are you ready, Judy?
I'm ready. I read part of it. I didn't get it all read, and it's great, guys. So take a listen.
Okay.
Season 11, Episode 20, Wet and Wild Artifact and Feature Analysis by the Oak Island Compendium. In this week's episode, Wet and Wild, we are first taken to the frequently visited site at the southeastern corner of the swamp, where the excavation work continues. The site appears to be a ship's wharf, where loading and unloading of cargo took place. After deeper excavation, it appears that there is a layer of rocks that looks like they've been covered. The team says it appears to be a road that went to the swamp. It is mentioned that in the 1930s, an aerial photo shows what appears to be a stone road pathway near the money pit. It was mentioned that it was destroyed in the 1960s by Robert Dunfield's work on the island. Analysis. In Rupert Furneaux's The Money Pit Mystery, 1972, he writes the following: "None of these early Oak Island landowners seem to have lived on the island or to have cultivated the ground. A road ran down the center of the main part of the island, from west to east, which divided lots 1, 14 on the north side from lots 21, 32 on the south side. It may have been construction at the time of the survey, 1785, or it may have existed prior to 1785. Furneaux then writes he, Colin Summers, also told me he had discovered that the road, observed in 1795, disappeared and ran beneath the swamp on the southern shore. Its continuation on the other side would have brought it directly to the stone triangle which was found in 1937. This suggests that the road had been constructed before the swamp encroached, possibly before 1785, when the road was employed as a boundary between lots. This brings up the question, is the stone road really from 1200 AD, or was it made as a lot divider? It's hard to imagine that a series of roads across the island would have been made for the purpose of covertly burying treasure. We then move to the new lab where blacksmith Carmen Lega is visiting the Oak Island team to give his opinion on 2 recently found artifacts. Carmen inspected the first piece and immediately seemed to know what it was. He said it is a backing bolt that was used on the yoke for a team of oxen. Considering Carmen is an expert in this area, he was extremely confident in his opinion. He mentioned that the date could have been from the 1600s to no later than the 1760. He also said the piece is French in origin. The next artifact gave Carmen a little more difficulty. He mentioned it was about 14 inches long but wasn't quite sure about it, and asked archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan for some more information on its composition. She said that she couldn't fit the entire piece in the XRF scanner, so she could only do a portion of it. Emma mentioned that the piece had a high manganese level and was not modern. She estimated that the piece would have been from the early 1700s or earlier. She said that based on its composition, it seemed Swedish in origin. Carmen surmises it was a heavy wharf pin, and the team agrees that some sort of operation was going on at the location of the discovery. Analysis. In History of the County of Lunenburg by Judge Desbrise, he writes, on July 30th, 1756, Captain John Steinfort, with 50 armed men, went from Lunenburg to the basin of Minas and drove away 120 head of horned cattle and a number of horses, being part of the confiscated property of the French Acadians. The party returned to Lunenburg September 3rd with 60 oxen and cows, the rest having perished on the way, all the horses included. Could some of these oxen that were taken from the French Acadians have been used for some sort of operation involving heavy loads on Oak Island that would explain this French yoke being found? The scene shifted to the Lot 5 excavation site near the shore, where the Oak Island archaeologists were working with Jack Begley. As Jack was sifting the team's spoils, archaeologist Moya MacDonald made an interesting discovery. As she dug into the dirt, she noticed something blue. Upon further investigation, she realized that it was blue clay. Archaeologist Helen Sheldon mentioned that it was not something that they have found on this part of the island, and the team agreed it was most likely from the Money Pit. Earlier, the team found evidence that there was other material from the Money Pit area that was found on Lot 5. It should be noted that blue clay has previously been found by the Oak Island team in quantity at the eye of the swamp. We are then taken to the war room, where the Oak Island team met with researcher John Edwards. Edwards appeared last week on the show and said he would be able to give precise locations for finding possible treasure on the island if he was granted access to the Nolan's Cross area. Tom Nolan granted him access, and Edwards presented the results. Edwards stated that the way to find the treasure is built into Nolan's Cross itself. He mentioned he worked with surveyor Steve Guptill to make measurements of the cross. Based on these measurements of 144, 720, and 864, he said they were all divisible by 72. He feels that 72 is the key to figuring out who built the cross, and he thinks it was the Knights Templar. Edwards cites the Latin rule as evidence of Templar involvement. The Latin rule consisted of 72 clauses that detailed the ideal behavior of a knight. Edwards went on to suggest that in his opinion that treasure could be found at either Darth, Teferet, or Yesod, that comprises the Tree of Life symbol that is made from Nolan's Cross. Analysis. The compendium feels it is extremely convenient that Edwards gave the search locations of Da'ath, Teferet, or Yesod to find possible treasure, when those points are the ones that have never been searched by Petter Amundsen, the originator of this theory, and the Oak Island team. The measurements that were taken are the same measurements that have been used by other Oak Island researchers. These include Petter Amundsen, the late Chris Donner, Christopher Morford, Brian Farroa, and others. The difference being the interpretation of the number 72. Oddly, Edwards attributes this number to the Templars when his previous research clearly points to another source. Perhaps this source was mentioned and cut from the show. The compendium acknowledges that possibility, although these other possible sources for the number 72 should be noted. 72 is the base of sacred numbers. 72 is the gematria value for the mercy point that Petter Amundsen associated with Sir Francis Bacon and the Rosicrucians. In numerology, the number 72 represents transformation and enlightenment. This number is coded in the Jewish and Christian Bibles, the Fibonacci sequence, the works of Shakespeare, and in many other sources. In what appears to be another case of convenience, the citing of the Knights Templar handbook as evidence of who built Nolan's cross seems extremely narrow and insufficient considering all these other possibilities. The action shifted to the north portion of the swamp, where the Oak Island team is beginning an excavation at the proposed Teferet location of the Tree of Life. This was first suggested by researcher Petter Amundsen, that is now being put forth by John Edwards. After some digging, it is mentioned that the area is very rocky. A large boulder is found that appears to have been unnaturally placed at the location. The team believes this may be the Teferet spot, and the team plans to explore the area more extensively to see if anything is buried underneath the stone. Our analysis concludes at the War Room, where the Oak Island team is meeting to discuss the copper sheeting that was found last year on Lot 8. A conservator in Canada was able to unfold the piece very delicately. The piece seems to have been decorative and made of copper that was not local. It appears to be hand-designed and made by the press block technique of working metal that goes back 1,000 years. It appears this piece could be Anglo-Saxon, Western or Northern European in origin. Oak Island historian Doug Crowell showed 2 examples of the pattern on the piece that could indicate an Icelandic Norse origin or a French European origin. The Icelandic Norse piece is rune related to astronomy, astrology, and the French European piece is a quadrant of an astrolabe dating to the late 1200s to early 1300 AS. Both examples suggest some ancient navigational symbols. Doug states the information will be sent to Professor Gaspani for his opinion on both pieces. The compendium will also be investigating the source of the folded copper. Until next week, please visit www.theoakislandcompendium.com for the article and our other content related to the Oak Island mystery. Good day from the compendium. Daniel and Charlotte.
Unbelievable research.
Great job, guys. I'm so glad I got you to explain the things I can't.
Very good job, Daniel and Charlotte. Yes, Stacy, Judy is with us. We don't want to talk over video clips that are showing, but the queen of synopsis is here. Hello, Judy.
Hello, John, and whoever else is asking about me. Thank you. I'm here.
Yep. So now we'll finish up them drilling into the shaft. I will post Daniel's and Charlotte's video we just saw on YouTube separate, so they don't have to watch the whole live video to see it, you know, Judy.
Right. I think that's great, John.
And go see them at the Oak Island Compendium. They're doing great. I hope I'm pushing more and more members to his blog, and I thank him for what they do. Hello, Robin Leach. Don't forget, #book. We're getting close. You'll receive 1 free book, The Jerusalem Files, 1 free Quest of Oak Island hat, wherever you are in the world. Please have your full name. If you're international, I need your phone number. I cannot take, like I said, if your name is J. Smith, stamps.com won't take it. I need John. I need Joanne. I need some name in there. I want to put the correct name in there so the hat reaches you. And same with Corian when he sends the book. We need everything very simple: zip code, province, country, correct post office box. Otherwise, it's just a big delay. You know what I mean, guys?
Yes, and we wanted to get to them as quick as possible, right?
Yep. Yes, Stacy. And if somebody has won a hat when it's drawn, we will redraw for somebody that didn't win a hat. So here we are back in the garden shaft, drilling away in the money pit area. Google Play ad. What is your first name? In case it didn't come through on the email, what is your first name? Peter? Paul? Hello, Tony Klug. Yeah, they're 106 feet below in that garden shaft, Judy.
Yes, okay, good. It's so crowded.
STPATR? What is that? Patrick? Oh, we're not communicating with this guy. But different country. I give them time, Judy?
Right. Yes, John. Yeah, sometimes it's hard.
Yep. Even typing in chat and everything, you got Google translators and everything else. So it looks like st.patr ... I'm going to go with Patrick, I guess.
Well, hopefully that'll work.
Now, when they were just drilling them 3 holes, the water was coming in like crazy.
It sure was rushing in there. It was scary.
Water coming in from everywhere. I think so, David Patrick. Let me write that down right now so I can get his hat out tomorrow morning. Thank you, Patrick. And he was saying, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. Unbelievable.
It must have been frightening for the ones up top to hear those guys down below.
Yep, they were yelling.
When yeah. Oh.
Patrick, I'll put it in your email. I don't think he's Saint Patrick. Am I talking to a saint?
I doubt that very much.
Oh, my lordy 40. Holy Muyan. Don't forget,
But
hashtag book.
One.
Yep, we can use a lot of saints here. I need more than that. All righty. So now I picked a video that's probably going into the springtime. I think last time we saw one, it was in April. I couldn't find the date on this one. So we'll watch this video before the spring. It's not recent. And then we'll get right into the hat giveaway and book giveaway. Okay, guys?
Sounds good, John.
is a former drone video to just give you an idea as how much the island's been changing. So every Wednesday, we're just going to throw a video up there of the old drone videos to just see how much it changed, guys. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful, John, and I couldn't help but think that when the swamp is full of water like that, it's so much prettier than when it's all dug up.
Yep. Hello, Rowdy. But yeah, so you can compare things and go from there. And I always like watching them. I don't watch them all over and over. I just watch them once, and that's about it. But when you do them for so many years, oh yeah, I remember seeing that one. That was May of 2022. That was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Then you put one up that's more recent, just to see a change. You know, Judy and guys.
Right, and it's always changing, for sure. We love it, John. Just keep doing it.
Yep. And then before we do the drawing, a little thing that I'll be on next Tuesday, pre-show, straight as an arrow. And I guess it showed on a promo of this castle with Corian. So I'm not sure about what's going on here. So stay tuned for next week. Tuesday's pre-show, 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Judy will be with me Wednesday to do everything about the synopsis on episode 21, straight as an arrow. There's Corian. Great guy. All right, is everybody in for the hashtag book drawing? Is everybody ready?
It looks like it, John. And I want to say good luck, everybody. And if you get that book, you're going to enjoy it. But you're going to like the hat even more.
And we'll go for that. Let's see here. We got 47 entries. If you want a hat, we'll just redraw. You'll get the book anyways. But if you got a hat, we want to give a chance to everybody that has not getting a hat to have one. So I'll try to remember, but we'll go from there. All right.
Sounds good.
Here we go. 48 entries. And they'll make sure full address, full phone number, international, and send it to the email of Quest of Oak Island at AOL.com. That's Quest of Oak Island at AOL.com. Complete address, everything but the kitchen sink I need. 49. We got one. Somebody just got in there. Because if you put hashtag book in Facebook, you will not be eligible. You got to let them use your profile picture and name. That's all StreamYard uses. And then it sticks it in this app for the contest. All right, guys. I'm losing my voice. I've been on too long. All right, here we go, guys. Good luck. 3, 2, 1. John Fisher.
Congratulations, John.
I hope he's in chat, Judy.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Are you in chat, John Fisher? I think he won a hat before.
I'm wondering that too.
Okay, John, I thought so. So we'll get the book to you. All right, guys. He's got the book. John Fisher equals one book from Corian and Christopher. The Jerusalem Files. Now it's hat time, Renee. Here we go. Draw again. Are you ready, guys? 3,
Good luck, everybody.
2, 1, 0. Luann Runick,
Oh,
hat winner.
congratulations, Lynn. Yes.
Let's see if she's in here or still here. Got a lot of winners here today. Luann, did you ever win a hat? She says thank you. So must not have won a hat. Don't forget.
No, I don't. I don't think she has.
We got to have pictures. We got to have pictures.
Yes, please. I look forward to those.
Put your name and address. If you're on a Facebook group, you can message me or at the Quest of Oak Island at AOL.com. Full address. And if you're international, I need your phone number. Okay, Luann, it's coming to you tomorrow morning. Everything will be mailed out tomorrow morning. And Corian takes care of the book, or Christopher takes care of the book from the U.S., I guess. Okay, guys. All righty. Well, Judy, that's it. That's all I got for tonight. And if you want to say your goodbyes and button it up, I'll say my goodbyes and start posting your synopsis and pictures and everything else so everybody sees it. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for all your encouragement tonight, as always. I so enjoyed being with you guys, and I really needed to be with you tonight. So I'll look forward to next Wednesday night. I hope you'll join us then as well. And everybody, in the meantime, please, from my heart, stay safe, everybody. You too, John Stemmer, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care of that cough, will you?
I will, John. I don't know why it started just when we went on air.
Well, take care of it. Stop talking and take care of it. Take your cough drops, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, like I said, I'll see you next pre-show Tuesday, episode 21, Straight as an Arrow. It's a great podcast tonight. Thanks to all the winners. The quicker you get your address to me, the quicker it goes out. And don't forget, the people that celebrate Sunday, Easter Sunday here, I wish everybody a happy Easter for the ones that celebrate it. And then the ones that don't, just have a good Sunday, have a good weekend. But what do I tell you guys all the time? Remember, members, always go forward. You may get a setback in your life, but just believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams, no matter how old you are. For tomorrow's are never given. In this crazy, crazy world we live in, here today, gone tomorrow, who the heck knows what's happening? This world needs a ton of prayers. I don't even know if that's helping. So my friend Jan says, and Judy says, keep smiling, you stay safe. Also stay strong. And keep that positivity going. Mentally and physically, keep that positivity going. Get that negativity out. Be positive in what you do. Be confident in what you do. Not everybody can do that, but if you need help, go out there and get some help if you need help. There's a lot of people out there that can help. So I thank you for joining me and Judy tonight. We'll see you next Tuesday pre-show on all the Quest channels. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you. Take care. And bye-bye.